This is Aaron Michael, and you're watching Voice of the Heroes.
What's good, everybody? It's the one and only one Fleeboy Jetson, and you're listening to the number one anime podcast in the world, Voice of the Heroes. And if you're tuning in for the first time, please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Also, click that notification bell so you don't miss any interviews or discussions with your favorite heroes and villains from around the world. And today we got a very special guest. To me, he's definitely top 5 best strikers in the world. He is Julian Loki from Blue Lock. Let's welcome Kevin D Thelwell. How you doing, man? What's going on?
I'm doing great. It's a good day so far. How about you?
Oh man, it's just hot. It's like 90 something degrees where I'm at. I'm trying to stay cool in here, but it's where you at? Where you
Oh, I feel
located at on
that.
the map?
I'm in Texas. We hit 105 today.
Oh my God. Oh, wow. So, well, let's get right to it, man. Like I said, you play one of the best strikers in the world in the anime series Blue Lock. The first season was a huge success. They automatically greenlit the second season, which debuts October 5th, I believe. So I'm really excited for that. We did get introduced to your character in the last 2 episodes of the season. And man, when he showed up, he just started kicking the Blue Lockers' ass. And I loved every bit of it, man. Tell us a little bit about your character and how you got into the role.
Oh man. Well, I'm gonna start that saying that Blue Lock is my favorite sports anime easily of all time. So I remember when the first promos for that were coming out, I was super duper interested in it. And first episode came out, and I'm like, yeah, they sold me. They were hyping it up correctly, and the hype was real. So I made sure that I made it super clear to everyone that I like really wanted to be a part of that show in some way. Hey, can I help direct on it? Can I help do anything like that? And I started talking to people, including the director of the show, who's Jonathan Rigg. He's really cool dude, really enjoys, really loves the show too. And he's like, yeah, I could, use some more ADs, to see you're passionate about this show. So yeah, and he helped me put me on for directing some of the episodes, or some parts of the episodes anyway. It's here and there sprinkled all throughout the first and second cores for Blue Lock.
Oh, that's amazing.
Yeah, it was really fun getting to direct Rico and everybody else on the show here and there. So that was really nice. For Loki's part, since Loki doesn't appear until like what, the last 2 episodes of season one. So that one was real interesting. So I was watching the subs as they were going through, and I remember seeing Loki's episode come up, and I'm like, oh dang, that guy's like he's in my strike zone for characters. He fits my voice pitch. He does all that. It's a black character in anime, which we rarely get, and they had like 2 in one episode. I'm like, whoa, that's crazy. And I'm like, oh, but he's French. Man, are they gonna want me to put on like a French accent for that? I'm not sure. I'm not sure if I'm comfortable doing that. And coincidentally, like a few hours after that episode came out and I watched it, I was over playing some Digimon TCG with Ben Balmaceda, Matt Shipman, and Bryson Bogus, who play Reen and Nagi. And also, I cannot remember his name, but he's also on the World 5 team for Argentina. Ben plays that character on there too. Slipping my
Oh,
mind at the
that's
moment.
awesome. So
Yeah.
y'all was just linked up. Y'all was having a Blue Lock night.
Oh yeah, we just played Digimon, having a good time, and then like Matt was saying, "Hey, I just saw the new episode before I got here, and like I think that character would be really good for you." And I'm like, I don't know if I could do that. I want to. He lines up with a whole lot of stuff, but I'm not sure if I can. And then like I can't remember, it was a week later, a couple days later, I was watching Cocaine Bear with some of my other buddies, and I get a message, and I'm like, "Hey, it's from the director." He's like, "Hey, how's your French accent?" And I'm like, ooh, I don't know. And coincidentally enough, I had just finished recording on a game that had me doing French accents, which was a Jagged Alliance 3, because that's already out already. I played a bunch of different characters and did a bunch of different accents in that game, and I basically kind of learned how to do a French African accent on that. And I'm like, I feel comfortable doing French African accent, but like regular whole French, I'm like, I'm not sure if I can do that. So I decided, hey, I'm gonna give it a shot anyway. So I got the audition for Julian, saw the specs, and I'm like, oh, he's based on Kylian Mbappe. Let me go do research on Kylian Mbappe. And I looked up some interviews from Kylian and did some research on his background. And I'm like, oh, wait, like Kylian Mbappe's parents are like basically from Africa anyway. And hearing his voice, hearing how he talks, he doesn't have like a thick stereotypical French accent. It's more leans almost General American, but with like a hint of like African in there, like a mix of three. So I did a bunch of research on how Kylian talks, and I did my audition based on Kylian versus based on a stereotypical French accent on that instead. And then sent that over to the
Amazing.
director. And he's like, this is really different. Like, why did you do it like this? And I'm like, I did research on the guy, and he doesn't talk like that in real life. So I decided to match it close to the way he talked. And he's like, I like that. Cool. We'll go with that then. I trust what, your judgment on that. And that's how I ended up getting the role and Julian sounding
That's
like that too.
amazing because you put your own spin on it, and they was like thrown off, like, hold on, wait, what? Oh, and then you sold them on that. I love it, man. A role that you heard, saw, and you went for it, and you got it, man. Congratulations. I hope we get to see more of him in season 2. I'm not really much of a manga guy, so I don't read the mangas too well. But I'm pretty sure, man, he's not gonna go too far, man. Hopefully, we get to see him come back in season 2 because I really did like that character.
I read a good chunk of the manga. I read whatever comes out on Amazon, so I'm not super caught up as other people are with whatever releases they have. But I don't expect him to appear in season 2, but definitely a season 3. He'll be around here and there.
And I'm excited for it, man. We
Yeah.
all here for it. All right, now out all of the characters, because you've been in the video game side of things, anime side of things, probably theatrical, stage, whatever the case. Out of all the characters, video game wise or anime wise, which one was the most enjoyable to dub? Like you just had a blast doing the character.
Oh, I probably off the top of my head immediately would be Naoya in Girlfriend. That was the first time I got to do a lead in a show, and I got to be really dumb and really goofy in that show.
Hey,
And
congratulations on that, man.
yeah,
Girlfriend it's called.
thanks. Yeah,
Is it more
Girlfriend.
like the romance type anime thing?
Yeah, it's romance, but it's a rom-com, but puts a spin on it because like for those who don't know, the plot of Girlfriend is about a guy who has his childhood crush finally said yes to him. He's been asking her out for years every day, and she finally
Okay.
said yes to him. So they start dating. Unfortunately, or maybe luckily for him, who knows? But twist on it, another girl asks him out as well.
Oh,
And
so he's doing his numbers in that one. Okay, I like
yep,
it.
yep. And the twist on that show is he decides I do not have the heart to turn this girl down who pour her heart out to me.
Mhm.
So I'm gonna take her. I'm gonna go to my girlfriend and I'm gonna ask her if I can have a second.
You swear to God, that's what the show's about?
That's the show's about. So the show
Oh
is
man, I
about
gotta watch
him.
it just for that, man. I
Yeah.
gotta watch it. That's pretty.
It's the girlfriend too.
That's what's up, man. Okay, that
Yeah.
that is probably would be my most enjoyable character too if I was doing voice acting. Do you have a preference when it comes to characters like in animes like heroes, villains, or anti-heroes? I guess we could throw anti-heroes in there.
That's a good question. I really like all the characters I voice. I think mostly I'll voice people who are on the good side. It's very rare that I voice like villain characters. I'm not opposed to voicing villain characters, but sometimes it's just how your voice is. Yeah, I can hear you more on like, playing this young guy. Like most of the like leads I've done for shows have been the kind of one guy surrounded by 20 girls kind of show. So
Hey
that's
man, you
just how
getting
it is.
lucky, man. Hopefully it rubs off in real life, right? You go
If
out there and
only,
get
if
like
only.
20 around you or so. That's pretty dope. Okay, so let's move on to this question, right? Do you watch any of the anime that you normally work on? Because I know a lot of anime voice actors, sometimes they get packed or swarmed with so much work that they treat it like work. Like, all right, I'm coming 9 to 5, I got to do this, and they never even go back and see their performance. Do you watch some of the things that you're in?
Some things, not everything do I watch that I'm in, but some of the shows, because like, yeah, I watch a whole lot of anime. Normally, before I was an actor, I watch a whole lot of anime. My friends do. So sometimes I'll be like, hey guys, this show that I'm in is really fun. You guys should check it out. And we'll go ahead and just, have a little watch party with friends and chill out with that. So yeah, I'd say like most of the shows I'd probably do watch, but not everything.
Okay, fair enough question. Now let's go keep on the anime side of things, right? We're gonna go with first, let's do your Mount Rushmore of anime characters, and then we're gonna do your top 3 animes of all time. But for you, and only you, not the popular answer, who is your top 4 anime characters of all time? Who would you put on that Mount Rushmore?
Okay, and any characters, not characters I voiced, right?
No, any characters.
Okay,
Whatever
any characters.
characters you grew up with that inspired you, that you feel like, my God, he's just super OP. Or even an underdog that you feel like deserved maybe more attention in the anime. Who would your
Get them out of
4
the room
be?
and see what kind of statues I got going on here. All right. So I know off the top of my head, easily, I really love Archer from Fate Stay Night. He
Oh, that's
is
a good one. Yeah,
the
he
goat.
was
Yeah,
he was a
he's one of
good.
my favorite. Love his philosophies. Just love everything about his character.
Yeah,
He's
his
just the
character
best.
development also in that, and the spin and all that on him was just yeah,
Oh,
chef's
so
kiss
good.
on that one.
Every time he appears, it makes me so happy. Love him to death. Let me see here. Top
He's
5
looking for
anime
that
characters of
inspiration in
all
the room.
time. Yeah,
Like,
I'm looking like, dang, what do I gotta do? What do I gotta do? All right. So if I were to look, I gotta hit categories here. Like, I really liked the movie Kizumonogatari. It's like one of my favorite animes of all time. So I really like just the dynamic in that movie, and so I probably say like Araragi's probably one of my funniest characters like I've ever seen. Like he's fun, he's problematic, but also he's like relatable in other aspects too, and he's not being crazy. So I'd probably say Araragi's probably one, and that's from the Monogatari series. So that's 2 there. Let me see what else. It's got to be anime only, so we're not going to count any game characters either. Let's see. Let's see. Um, I'd say another one anime only. Not gonna pick one. Okay. I'd say if we were gonna go to more like modern characters going to things, I really love like early arcs, Deku and stuff like that. He works
Mm,
pretty well. Just like the whole aspect of working hard to achieve your goals without having to be like, oh, I'm bored special. Now I gotta work hard to get to where I am. So
Deku is really landing on a lot of people's top 5 and Mount Rushmore lists, especially with voice actors that I asked this question with. I wonder where the series will land when it's finally over.
well, it is over in the manga, so some
Yeah,
people
it's
know
over in the
already.
manga,
So
so we got about one more season
just
of the
about.
anime, which would probably be season 8. So that's a good one. All right, you got one
Yeah.
more.
Let me see. One more. I'd probably have to say then, specifically the dub because it's very different than the sub, but Digimon Takato in the dub. He is
Mm.
pretty goated as well.
Okay,
Love his
okay. So
character,
that's
love
your
his arc and
Mount
growth.
Rushmore. Now, what are your top 3 animes of all time?
Monogatari series, Blue Lock, and then we got one more wild card. Let's see here. Last wild card on my big blue shelf of Blu-rays that I have here. Yeah, honestly, I gotta say, like Digimon's one of my favorite anime of all time because like the first 5 seasons, just art for me. Art. I love it. I still gotta like watch the later seasons, but I could rewatch seasons 1 through 5 over. I have rewatched seasons 1 through 5 over and over again.
That's dope. So we got the first one was what was it?
The Monogatari series. Yeah.
Monogatari series, and then we had Blue Lock, and then Digimon. Great
Yeah.
top 3. All right, now let's talk a little bit about you. Fade off from anime side of things real quick and get to learn the person who brought some of these great characters to life. What was you doing before acting, and what inspired you to actually take that leap of faith and become a voice actor?
Well, I guess I started dabbling in acting a little bit in high school to college, just making little fun parody videos on YouTube with friends, just, mess around, having a good time. What changed was in college because I play brass instruments, trumpet, trombone, all the like. And I was in band all throughout middle school, all throughout high school. And then when I got to college and thought I was going to major in band, I realized, man, band people in like the professional sphere are kind of just not fun to be around. They're not, yeah, they're not super great. So I decided, there was some life change need to be made. I also was just having a lot of struggles in college and school and whatnot, just me holding out a job to pay every semester and while trying to master the classes and just all sorts of stuff. So it was ridiculous. So that kind of made me start leaning away from doing music as a major in college. And I'm like, at the same time, a YouTuber that I really liked his content when he was creating back then had a book that was getting turned into animation at the time, or was in talks to get turned into animation. And he's like, hey, let me have a little competition. We'll hold like open auditions throughout all my viewers and see if we can get some of you guys to be in the actual animation. So I threw an audition because I had a microphone for making my own parody videos and gave it a shot. And I booked a contract on that. And I booked
Oh,
one with like
that's
a bunch of professional actors who are all like in California and stuff. And I'm like, oh, shoot, maybe I should start learning how to do this for real, So start taking like stage acting classes and voice for the stage classes in college. And I'd very, very much decided that theater specifically wasn't my cup of tea, but I wanted to look into voice acting because I really enjoyed dubs and had like an ear for hearing performances and just voices in general. And like I already had like my best friend's cousin, who's Alejandro Saab, was somebody who like went to my high school and became a voice actor after graduating, moved to Texas and all that. So I'm like, shoot, maybe I can move to Texas and become a voice actor too. So I started like, training up on that.
isn't like the High Dive studio around there or something in Texas?
Yeah, right now we have Crunchyroll and Sentai, which is High Dive.
Oh, okay. That's pretty dope. That's pretty dope. So
Yeah,
do
they're in
you work
Houston
for
though.
can you work for both companies, or like
Yeah.
once you pick a company, it's like, hey, you can't do work over there type stuff?
No, we're freelancers, so yeah, we can work for. I've worked for Sentai. I've worked for Crunchyroll. I've worked for other studios out in L.A., New York too. Like, yeah, we can work for whoever we want when you're as an actor, anyway.
Okay, that's pretty dope, man. That's real interesting. What do you feel like is the biggest misconception about voice acting? Because you hear a lot of big stories and a lot of people that's coming up that probably don't never been into the business, never voice acted for real, but played around with it, did parodies, they got their own channels. And what would be the best advice or something that you could tell them, like, hey, this ain't what you think it is, and this ain't, what do you think is the biggest misconception?
Two things I would say is that like we're just making silly voices. That's just not the case. There's like a whole lot of acting that goes into it. I tell people sometimes, that, oh yeah, I'm an actor. I do voice acting most. Oh yeah, do a voice, and I'm like, I'm doing one right now, bro. Like, what are you talking about? I'm talking to you. That's most of my characters kind of just sound like me, but that's just what it is. I'm not doing Porky Pig out there. We're not that goofy. Although I do some goofy characters, but most of them are just dudes. So there's that. And then just like the little fallacy that uh like a lot of subs versus dub watchers will think that like the Japanese seiyus are doing something a whole lot different than what the English dubs. Obviously, they have way more freedom because they don't have to try to match lip flaps as we do, but the fallacy that the seiyus don't act the same way that the English actors do. Whereas if you were fluent in Japanese and listening to what they're saying, you're probably like, oh, I guess talking about friendship and family and beating enemies with, the power of my heart does kind of sound a little cringe if I could speak Japanese, but because you don't speak Japanese, you're just hearing it in your head as comfortably as you could. But when you hear it in English, a language you actually understand, you're like, oh, I don't like the taste of this. What's going on? They're just bad. And I'm like, no, we're not, dude. We're just saying the words that are on the page, dude. This is the story. Just because when you understand it, it sounds a little weird. Doesn't mean we're bad actors.
Nah, that's true. What do you prefer to watch your anime in? Sub to dub? Heroes. All the heroes in the chat watching right now, right? Or watching this on VOD. They know me personally. I'll probably get shot for newcomers that's just now hearing this. Is dub. I literally can't watch it in sub. I have to wait for it in dub. I got multiple videos on why, but what do you prefer to watch your media in, dubbed or subbed?
I prefer dub, but if I like a show enough and I'll get impatient, I will convert over to the sub to go ahead and watch that. Like I started watching My Hero in dub for the first several seasons, and I get really into it. Then I'm like, all right, God, I can't wait anymore. I got to switch over to the sub. But I
Bro,
vastly
you're
prefer
just like
watching
me.
everything in dub.
With the My Hero plot that you just said, that's exactly how
Yeah.
it happened for me, bro. I watched the first to 4 seasons, and then I just couldn't. No, first of
Couldn't
five
wait.
seasons, and then when season 6 came out, it was so good I had to watch it in sub because I
Yeah.
did not want to miss anything. And
It's
it's
like I
been
watched
like
all of
that.
Blue Lock in sub at first, but second I want to show Blue Lock to a friend, we're watching it in dub the whole time. Like it's so entertaining in dub. It's a
Yeah,
good fun time.
most of my content I have to watch in dub. Nothing personal to none of the voice actors that's out there doing in subbed or whatever the case. Me personally,
Yeah.
I just prefer my content in dub. All right. So now, what was one of the lines that you may have quoted from one of your characters that resonate with you on a personal level?
Oh man, that resonated with me on a personal level. So off the top of my head, I'd probably say in the dub for Haikyuu, I play a character in season 4 named Shinsuke Kida. He's one of the captains of the opposing teams that they're fighting at the end of the season. And his whole thing is that when he steps onto the court, everyone gets really scared. And these are like all really good players. The players on his team who are stupidly talented, the players on the protagonist team stupidly talented. But when he steps on the field, they're afraid of him. And the thing is with him is he self-proclaimed and with the story, he has no talent at all. He's just the dude. But for him, he works really hard, practices every day, is super disciplined, and he's not good at a lot of things, but he's good at what he's trained to be good, to the point where talented people are afraid of him. So he has a whole thing, a whole philosophy in a bunch of quotes about talent and about how, like, we're doing as much as we can. Like, us giving a 1 or giving, a 10% is something completely different than somebody who's talented giving a 1 or giving a 10%. And almost all of his lines saying, when I was in the booth, I'm just like, I feel this. Because as an actor, like, you see somebody who's like just stupidly talented, who can like change their voice a billion different ways without any effort. And I'm sitting here like, dang, I got to work 10 times as harder just to be able to be in the same worlds that they exist. And that just really resonates with me. So honestly, anything that Shinsuke Kida says, that's my stuff. I
That's
love him.
dope. That's dope. So a lot of inspiration comes from that. That's
Mhm.
cool. Are there any upcoming or ongoing anime series that you would like to be a part of? Because they got a lot of good stuff that came out this year. I think my personal favorite was like Solo Leveling was one of them. They had a real hit over there on Disney Plus with X-Men 97. Are there any shows that you might see like Blue Lock, for instance? You spoke that right into existence when you seen that character when it was sub. You was like, man, like I really are there any characters going on right now or any characters that might be coming to anime or animation that you would love to be a part of?
Oh man, I'm not sure about all of the new shows that are coming out at the moment. I'm going to be real with you. So, if I were to say like anything that I would want to be a part of, like there are so many good shows that haven't been dubbed. Like there's shows like Skip and Loafer that's on Crunchyroll that's really, really good, but to my knowledge is not dubbed and it really should be dubbed.
I think
Like
all of the
anything,
anime content should be dubbed. And
it
I
really
think they should
should.
be released sub and dubbed. The same way Netflix does it. Like they
Mhm.
give you the option to watch it dubbed or subbed. I think that will be brilliant if Crunchyroll would start
Well,
getting into that.
the caveat with the way Netflix does it, which is cool, they do that, but it does kind of hurt the show a little bit because when Netflix gets a show and they only get it, Netflix chooses to release the show several months later for everyone. So no one can watch the show for a much longer period of time. And then when they release it, they have the dub out already. That's just because they've postponed the sub coming out. So that way the dub is ready at the same time.
Mm.
Whereas stuff like there was a couple seasons where like Solo Leveling maybe or My Hero, for example, there's episodes that My Hero comes out the same day as the sub in certain seasons. They're not delaying the Japanese side. They just send send people materials really early before the Japanese is even completely finished, and we start recording the dub at the same time to try to speed and release like Kaiju. Kaiju number 8 was releasing for a couple episodes at the same time. That's really cool when they do that because then we can all watch it simultaneously, but it's really hard to maintain because if there's even one little hiccup in the system, like an email doesn't get sent, there's a hiccup or any tiny delays, then now the dub can't come out and the dub falls behind an episode or two. And it's really hard to maintain. When it works, it's amazing. But I kind of prefer the dub being 2 episodes behind versus making everyone wait several months to watch the show in general.
Yeah, you're
Which,
right.
I don't know. I'm not looking at the numbers, so maybe the Netflix way is better, but that's just me. I'm okay with, like, if I really like a dub, waiting 2 weeks for it to come out. If I'm okay with waiting on that, sometimes I just watch it. I prefer to watch it in dub. But I like the options, yeah. So there's a lot of people that I know that just don't watch the sub and wait 2 weeks for the dub to come out, and then they start watching the dub.
Yeah, definitely. And it's really hard to stay away from spoilers too, especially on Twitter and X and Facebook or whatever social media, TikTok. Spoilers all over for shows, especially popular shows. And I'm glad you mentioned Kaiju number 8, right? And options. I want to ask you this question, right? What do you prefer your media in? Like, do you prefer it the way Netflix does it, where they drop all the episodes at once and you're able to just binge, spend your weekend or your night in a party or a chat watching with your friends and y'all can hang out all night and watch it? Or do you prefer your content like something like Game of Thrones or how X-Men 97 was weekly, where you have that whole buzz throughout the week and everything to talk about or what's going to happen on the next episode? How do you prefer to watch your content?
I think I prefer watching it weekly. Sure, the cliffhangers are, a double-edged sword there, but I think I like it better. It's more consumable weekly, 20 minutes, an hour, depending on what kind of show you're watching. Knock it out versus saying, all right, guys, we have to gather the squad together for several hours in a row and try to do that multiple times sitting, because we're not watching the whole show in one night. So I think it's harder to gather people around when you have a lot of stuff to watch versus 20 minutes, everybody gather around. Sure, we can squeeze it in real quick. Once a week.
Yeah, I like weekly too. It really just depends on the show for me. Because there's some shows I want to watch all of it right there. Like, you know what I'm saying? And then I like the way they did Arcane. I think Arcane is one of my favorite shows out right now. How they do like 3 1 week, next week you get another 3. I kind of like that also. But we come to the end of the video. Do you have any upcoming projects or conventions that you're able to talk about?
Let's see here. So, well, there's stuff going on right now. For example, project-wise, I'm currently working on Makeine, Too Many Losing Heroines. I play the main character Nukumizu in that show. That is again, one of those shows I said earlier where it's one dude basically surrounded by other girls, but that one is a really, really nice, basically rom-com, about a dude who keeps meeting girls who have confessed to the boy of their dreams and swung and miss, essentially, who have been hurt by love. And this is a guy who's never experienced love at all. And he's basically trying to live his life, make more friends, but also figure out how to help these girls out. And it's a super fun show. It's animated by A1 Pictures, and every episode looks like a movie. Like it looks like was it a Makoto Shinkai movie, like Your Name level
it's
animation.
Currently out right now.
It's currently airing right now. So the subs on episode.
Where can I watch it? What
Crunchyroll.
Platform? Crunchyroll.
Yeah.
And what's the name of it one more time?
Makeine, Too Many Losing Heroines.
Too Many Losing Heroines. I gotta check that out.
It's real.
It's gonna be my first rom-com I watch. I usually watch the action and the power up anime stuff like that. But I'm gonna check out this one. I'm gonna, just for you, gang, I'm gonna watch this one and check that one out. Any conventions or any other shows we can expect you at?
No conventions at the moment, at least I'm planning, because I'm doing a lot of running around right now, flying back and forth different places. But if anybody wants me to be at a local convention, they can always ask the convention to go ahead and put in a word, ask for me, and they can always reach out to me. And
what's your social media handles? That way, any of the heroes or villains watching can follow you.
Yeah. You can find me at everything at Kevin D Thelwell, Twitter, Insta, etc.
Definitely, man. It was a pleasure talking to you, my guy. What a hell of an interview. Heroes and villains, don't forget all links will be in the description below. It was a pleasure holding this conversation with you, man. One more time, let them know where they can find you at before we get up out of here.
Yeah. Kevin D Thelwell on Twitter, Instagram. That's also my website with .com, of course, at the end of it. And yeah, you can see all the stuff I do. I tweet, weekly. So you'll be able to see what's up with me.
Definitely. And don't forget, we are doing that PS5 giveaway. It ends September 1st. So by the time this video come out, you probably already lost or you probably already won. If so, congratulations. If not, man, we're going to hold another one around Christmas time. So to enter, simply just like, comment, and subscribe. Whatever videos you can, leave a dope comment. And don't leave one of them comments like, hey, this video, leave something where I know you actually watched the video. But heroes, until the next time, I'm out of here, man. Peace.
Sing it with me, pretty Cali, pretty Cali, pretty Cali, pretty